I have never in my life seen an ending on 4th and goal from the 30 whatever yard line in what seemed to be man-to-man coverage on the outside. They rush 2, drop 9, and still find a way for a receiver to be on man-to-man coverage. Jalen Milroe drops back, hits Isaiah Bond in the back of the end zone. Auburn loses the football game in a game that they should have upset Alabama.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought that was going to happen because I'd be a goddamn liar, but I have to admit, I don't know what it was, but when that ball was snapped and he dropped back, I just had this gut feeling he's going to hit, something's going to happen. So he's going to hit someone. And he did. And it's insane. Look, I will give Alabama some grace here. I know Alabama fans that, they call me an Alabama hater. I'm not going to sit here and do you look like crap against Auburn and Auburn's a bad team and blah, blah, blah. All of your issues showed up. It's the Iron Bowl. The craziest stuff happens in that game, even if either team is down. The craziest things happen. As we saw, the ending proves anything can happen. But I still stand by that I don't really have any confidence in this offense. I really do think that we have unjustifiably propped up their offense because they had some very favorable matchups, and they had a very favorable matchup here against Auburn, and it did not feel like they stepped up to the plate. They just didn't. I didn't think that they played well enough, in my opinion, for me to feel confident going into the Georgia game. I'm not going to do it. Why are you smiling? What are you about to say to me?
Because all I could think about all day long during show prep was when Auburn went up 21-20. You texted me and you said, man, Auburn might actually do it. They might have the upset. And I texted you back and I quote, you don't know this game like I know this game. Auburn's going to find a way to blow it, and it's going to be insane. Joe, Alabama right after that would miss a field goal. Okay, Riker would miss a field goal, which he has been more accurate than anybody. Auburn then went on a 16-play drive, kicked a field goal, made it, goes up 24-20. I know the last play is bad, but down the stretch, they had so many chances to where they could have put this game away and didn't. Auburn then forced a 3-and-out. Alabama would punt late in that football game. Okay. Auburn had a chance to play a little bit of keep away. If they got a couple first downs, that ball game's over. It's over, Joe. Hugh Freeze in the play calling that they had late in that game, they ran stuff that they had not been running all game. They wound up putting the football away, and then they give Alabama the last glimmer of hope to go down and score. Now, I have no idea what they were thinking rushing 2. I have no idea what they were thinking dropping 9 and leaving one guy, and let's just call it what it is. They can say they played zone coverage. They didn't. You got one dude on one dude. That's man-to-man coverage. Leaving him wide-ass open. How does that happen? Like, you had multiple chances to win that football game and put it away, and you couldn't do it. You can blame Peyton Thorne, Joe. I get it. He went 5 of 16, 91 yards. He threw 2 picks. I get it. But, man, the dude was running for his freaking life and picked up some
he played a good game. He played a good game despite the stat line.
5 of 16, okay, fool you. The dude was getting critical third downs, running the football. Why they changed up things offensively, why they were not prepared there at the end on 4th and goal from the 31 blows my ever-living mind.
I think you're going to disagree with me on this, but I think that game is far more telling for Auburn's situation than it is for anything with Alabama. Like I just said, I'm not going to really detract from Alabama because it's the Iron Bowl. I still maintain my original takes. But I think you're going to disagree with me on this. I think that's a huge positive for Hugh Freeze and for the direction. No, come on. Heading into next year, that is a total fluky play that happens at the end of the game. To be in that position to win the football game when you have no goddamn reason, there isn't a shot in hell that they should have been in a position to win that football game with how weak that roster is. And how the fact that
Good
we just talked about a
coaches
quarterback who played terrible throwing the football. They couldn't throw the ball.
Good coaches find ways to win close games.
Dude, they might have one of the worst rosters in the SEC.
No, they don't. Vandy does. Joe,
Bottom 3 in the SEC. They're above Vandy and Mississippi State, and I would put them below South Carolina.
No, they're ahead of South Carolina. South Carolina's
actually got a quarterback, though. Spencer Rattler plays the game. They might win the game. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Come on, though. For them to be in that position.
They're 4th and goal from the 31-yard line. What are we talking about? You also had Georgia at your place, okay? And you could have upset them. Like, you had multiple chances to get upsets here. Joe, look, 4th and 31 will never, like, that is insane. And the simple fact, Joe, that the Sunbelt, like, if it would be one thing. Like, let me tell you this. It would be one thing if, okay, they threw a Hail Mary and it was just like a crazy catch at the end, like some Aaron Rodgers type luck on a Hail Mary. Okay, look, man, they got lucky. All right. You can't help that. You're trying to knock the ball down. It gets through, and one of the dudes catches it. All right, whatever. But, bro, they got man-to-man coverage on the outside on 4th and goal from the 31. And then you're going under center when Alabama has to punt. You get a 3 and out. You could have stalled the game. Joe, you got to get 1 first down. And here's another thing. I know that you didn't want to punt that football. Even going for it on 4th down, you've held them to under 20-something points. Now, the final score doesn't indicate because not Kool-Aid McKinstry, the Arnold kid had the pick 6 there at the end. So it kind of the score looks different.
Right.
All right. But why not even attempt to go for it on 4th down? That Hugh lost this game, brother. He lost this game. It's not more you talk about all the time. Good teams find ways to win, unless their names.
They're a bad football team, though. They're a dog shit. That is not a good football team. That's not a good roster. What does that have to do with anything?
Because Washington almost lost to Stanford too.
Okay, stop. We're not talking about Washington right now. You are a menace. Stop it. We're not talking about Washington. It never fails. It never fails with you bringing stuff up like that.
Texas Tech too.
I think that is a significant accomplishment to put yourself in that much of a position. You couldn't throw the ball. And that team is supposed to have one of the best run defenses in the country.
Plays? Why are you running shit that you hadn't run all fucking night?
He probably got it as to have the roster that he was handed, that Brian Harsin didn't recruit shit. Brian Harsin just abstained from recruiting at anywhere near a competitive level. And you have Hugh Freeze stepping in, who is a known recruiter. Like, that is his best trait and why the future could be bright for them. This isn't an in-game guy. That's not his best trait. It is the recruiting aspect of things. And for him to galvanize his team to put themselves in a position where they almost won, I got to give him credit for that. That is such a significant accomplishment. Yes, were there bad decisions that were made? Absolutely. Did some dipshit defensive back fall asleep because he wasn't paying attention? And were guys not fighting to get over there in the corner of the end zone to defend that play? Yes, that's not great stuff. But I don't think that they are in a position with that roster to be anywhere near close to winning that football game. We said this in the preview. I said this in the preview. They should have gotten their asses blown out, and they didn't.
You know that we've been on the show too long when I'm about to make a joke and say, pause.